Members, good afternoon. This is the appointed time and we have a quorum. I call to order the House Committee's meeting. Item 1, matters arising, reports on the meeting with the Chief Secretary of Administration. The Chief Secretary thanks the President, the House Committee Chairman and the Secretariat for making swift arrangements to convene a special meeting of the House Committee and establish the Subcommittee on Safeguarding National Security Procedural Matters Regulation, so that scrutiny work can start swiftly. The Chief Secretary also thanks the Chairman of the Subcommittee and members for completing the scrutiny in a serious, diligent, and highly efficient manner. The full support and collaboration of the Legislative Council has assisted the HKSAR government to further enhance the legal system and enforcement mechanism of safeguarding national security and fulfilling our constitutional duty. The Chief Secretary also said that Director Xia Baolong has completed the inspection visit in Hong Kong last week. He gave full recognition, including recognizing the government's determination and work on formulating the first Hong Kong 5-year plan. He mentioned the rich opportunities brought about by the National 15th Five-Year Plan and asked Hong Kong to seize the opportunity. Director Xia also said that the 5-year plan should be a guiding document with directions, strategies, and operability, charting a course for Hong Kong's development in the next 5 years. The Chief Secretary has said that the Hong Kong SAR government has started the 2-month-long public consultation for the 5-year plan on the 15th of June, covering various aspects, including economy, industry, infrastructure, green transformation, and livelihood. The government attaches high value to the participation of the society and will listen carefully to all views. The Secretary thanks the Legislative Council for completing the research report under the collaborative mechanism. He hopes that in the next 2 months, members will encourage members of the public to give us their views so that we can forge a consensus on the measures for the next 5 years and better integrate Hong Kong into the country's development blueprints and create more economic gains benefiting the people. Item 2, Legal Service Division reports on bills and subsidiary legislation. There are 4 bills referred to the House Committee in accordance with Rule 54(5) of the Rules of Procedure. 1. Banking Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2026. That's paper, LS 33, 2026. Legal Advisor, please walk us through the bill. Thank you, Chairman. The bill seeks to amend the Banking Ordinance, Cap 155, and other enactments in relation to the banking industry, so as to reflect the latest operating condition in the banking industry and regulatory approach to bring in line our legislation to other major financial centers. That includes providing for the regulation on bank holding companies and appointment of skilled persons and auditors to perform the required duties, strengthening the enforcement powers of the monetary authority, and also removing the category of deposit-taking companies to simplify the 3-tier banking system to a 2-tier one. Please refer to paragraphs 4 to 11 of the report. Subject to the passage of the bill, it will come into operation in phases starting from the 1st of January 2027. Please refer to paragraph 5. In May, the government has consulted the panel on financial affairs. Members generally supported the proposal, but also raised some concerns. The Legal Services Department is now scrutinizing the drafting aspect of the bill. Now, this is in relation to amending the banking ordinance. I believe that a bills committee should be established for scrutinizing the bill. That concludes my report. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a bills committee for scrutinizing the bill? Please raise your hands. Mr. Chen Hock Fong, Ms. Carmen Can. Anyone else? Mr. Dennis Leung. There are 3 members. The Secretariat will issue notice to invite membership application. 2. Evidence Amendments Bill 2026, that's paper S34 2026. Legal Advisor, please brief us on the bill. Chairman, the bill seeks to amend the Evidence Ordinance, Cap 8, to provide for the admissibility of hearsay evidence in criminal proceedings and certain proceedings under the Fugitive Offenders Ordinance, so as to implement the Law Reform Commission of Hong Kong's report published in year 2009. Please refer to paragraphs 6 to 16 in the report. Subject to the passage of the bill, it will come into operation on the date to be appointed by the Secretary for Justice by notice published in the Gazette. The government has consulted the HLSP on the 23rd of March. Members supported the proposal but also raised some concerns. The Legal Services Department is now studying the bill's drafting and policy matter. Now, the bill seeks to amend the relevant provisions on hearsay evidence. Bills Committee should be established to scrutinize the bill. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a Bills Committee? Please raise your hands. Mr. Holden Chow, Ms. Carmen Kan, Mr. Wu Yingpeng. There are 3. The Secretariat will issue a notice to invite application for the BC. Item 3, Inland Revenue Amendment Preferential Tax Regimes for Funds, Family-Owned Investment Holding Vehicles and Carried Interest Bill 2026, that's LS 35, 2026. Legal Advisor, please walk us through the bill briefly. Thank you, Chairman. The bill seeks to amend the Inland Revenue Ordinance to adjust the profits tax exemption for funds and also family tax concessions for family-owned investment holding vehicles and related entities, and also to adjust the profits tax and salaries tax concessions for carried interest. The amendments include expanding the definition of fund to cover pension fund and endowment fund, expanding the scope of qualifying investments to cover assets like loans and digital assets, and also, under the tax concession regime, introducing a mechanism to make reports and record keeping. And also, there are changes proposed to the profits tax concession regime for FIHBs, including expanding the income source of qualifying carried interest. Please refer to paragraphs 4 to 10. Subject to the passage of the bill, it would come into operation on the day on which it is published in the Gazette as an ordinance. The administration has consulted the panel on financial affairs in March. Members supported the proposals but also discussed other concerns. The Legal Service Division is now scrutinizing the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. The proposed changes involve various changes to the tax concessionary regime, so I believe Bills Committee should be established. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a Bills Committee? If so, please raise your hands. Ms. Rukshan, Alex Fan, and Nkan Wah. There are 3. A notice will be issued to invite membership. 4. Inland Revenue Amendments Tax Concessions for Shipping-Related Activities and Physical Commodity Trading Bill 2026. That's paper LS 36, 2026. Legal Advisor, please brief us on the bill. Chairman, the last bill seeks to amend the Inland Revenue Ordinance to enhance the existing tax concessions regimes regarding the leasing of ships and other shipping-related activities. It includes providing a new tax concessions regime that includes adding a new 15% concessionary tax rate option for ship leasing activities, and also there are proposed new tax deduction for commodity trading activities so that qualifying traders can enjoy an 8.25% or 15% ex gratia tax concession on profits for qualifying activities. Please refer to the paper. If the bill is passed, it will come into effect on the day it is published on the Gazette. The administration has consulted the panel on economic developments in February. Members generally supported the proposal and various issues were discussed. We are now scrutinizing the legal and drafting aspects of the bill. Since the bill seeks to enhance the tax concession regimes regarding the leasing of ships and certain other shipping-related activities and to introduce a new tax concession regime for commodity trading activities, members may consider forming a Bills Committee to study the bill. That concludes my report. Members, do we need to establish a Bills Committee? Please raise your hands. Mr. Wong Wing-Wai, Chong Ki-fong, and another member. There are 3 members. A notice will be issued to invite membership application. B. Items of subsidiary legislation. There are 8. Subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 18th of June 2026. That's paper LS 37, 2026. The report covers 8 pieces of subsidiary legislation. I will now invite legal advisor to walk through the paper. Thank you, Chairman. I will first brief members on LN 68 to 72. The 5 notices are made under the Public Bus Services Ordinance to update the schedules of bus routes operated by 4 franchise public bus companies to reflect the route changes made between the 1st of October 2024 and the 31st of December 2025. For details, please refer to paragraphs 2 to 3 of the paper and also the annex. The 5 notices will come into operation on the 30th of September this year. That concludes my report on legal notices 68 to 72. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a subcommittee to scrutinize the notices? None. We move on to the next group of subsidiary legislation. Thank you. I'm now going to brief members on legal notices 73 and 4. These 2 notices are made to announce a 1.7 increase for pensions payable to ex-officers and dependents, as well as pensions payable to widows and orphans of officers. That reflects the average monthly consumer price index A changes of the past 12-month period, ending on 31st of March. The Legal Service Division has no issue on the drafting aspect of the notice. That concludes my report. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a subcommittee? Please raise your hands if you think so. None. Now, legal advisor, please walk us through the last legal notice. Thank you, Chairman. The last legal notice is number 75. The purpose of the notice is to amend the Schedule 1A of the Medical Registration Ordinance to add 16 medical qualifications recommended by the Special Registration Committee. This is the 7th batch of non-local medical qualifications recognized. Now, the effect is to allow the holder of these new medical qualifications to serve as a medical officer in a public health care institutions. Please refer to paragraphs 13 to 14 of the report. The report has come into operation on the date of its publication on the Gazette, that is 18th of June this year. We have found no difficulties in the drafting aspects of the notice. That concludes my report. Thank you. Members, do we need to establish a subcommittee? Please raise your hands if you think so. None. I remind members, concerning the above 8 pieces of subsidiary legislation, the deadline for making amendment is the Council meeting on the 15th of July. If extended by resolution, it will be the Council meeting on the 7th of October. Item 3, business for the Council meeting of the 8th of July 2026. Questions. A list of members having been allocated a quota has been uploaded onto the website. B, government bills first reading and second reading debates to be adjourned. There will be 3 pieces of bills to receive first reading. 1, statute law, Miscellaneous Provisions Bill 2026, 2, Medical Registration Amendments Bill 2026, and 3, Employees Retraining Amendments Bill 2026. The House Committee will deal with these 3 pieces of these 3 bills at the meeting on the 10th of July. C, Government Bill second reading debates to resume, consideration by Committee of the Whole Council and third reading. On the day of the Council, there will be 2 bills receiving their second reading debate. 1, Stamp Duty Amendments number 2, Bill 2026, and 2, Dutiable Commodities Amendment Bill 2026. At the previous meeting, the House Committee decided that no bills committee would be established to scrutinize the 2 bills. The government motion. We will deal with 1 proposed resolution moved by the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury under the Banking Ordinance, that is for adjusting the fees payable by some financial institutions, including banks. That's RS 38, 2026. I will invite legal advisor to walk through the paper. Thank you, Chairman. The proposed resolution seeks to obtain the Council's approval concerning adjustment to 18 fee items on the second schedule. That includes banking license fees, restricted banking license fees, registration fees for deposit-taking companies, as well as establishment fees of local and overseas branches or representative offices. The range is between 3% to 24%. The last increase was in 2024. For details, please refer to the 2nd to 5th paragraphs of the report, as well as the Annex B of the electrical brief. The administration has consulted the panel on financial affairs in April this year. Members have not requested to discuss the proposal or put forward other views. The proposed resolution, if passed, would come into operation on the day on which it is published in the Gazette. The Legal Service Department has consulted the administration on certain matters concerning the proposal which have been replied. Please refer to paragraph 6. Subject to members' views on the matter stated, no difficulties have been identified in relation to the legal and drafting aspects of the resolution. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Right, members, do we need to establish a subcommittee for follow-up? If you consider it necessary, please raise your hand. Right. The administration will move the proposed resolution at the council meeting on 8th of July. E. Members' motion on enhancing the governance efficiency of civil service to be moved by Ms. Nixie Lam, and the motion on seizing the development opportunities of the Northern Metropolis and green transport and building an innovation-driven smart city to be moved by Ms. Julie Lau. The wording of the motions has been uploaded onto the LegCo website. For Ms. Julie Lau's motion, if one wishes to propose amendments, the deadline for giving notice is 30th of June, Tuesday. 4. Business for the council meeting of 15th of July. 2026. Please refer to LC papers number CB brackets 2919/2026-01 and 02. 1. Questions. The deadline for registering questions for the council meeting is 26th of June, Friday, that is today. 2. Government bill first reading and second reading debate to be adjourned. No notice has been received yet by the Secretariat. 3. Government bills and members' motions. The Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs has given notice that at the council meeting she will move under the District Council's ordinance a proposed resolution concerning the inclusion of the loop in the district. The House Committee will consider this proposed resolution at its next meeting. In addition to the aforementioned proposed resolution, the Secretary for Labor and Welfare intends to move a proposed resolution at the council meeting concerning the implementation of a comprehensive smoking ban in construction sites. The House Committee had earlier set up a subcommittee to study 3 pieces of subsidiary legislation relating to the implementation of a comprehensive smoking ban in construction sites, including a piece of subsidiary legislation subject to the positive vetting procedure and 2 subject to the negative vetting procedure. The subcommittee concerned has completed its scrutiny, and the chairman of the subcommittee will deliver a verbal report under the next agenda item. Yesterday, I received a letter from Mr. Lam Chun Sing, chairman of the subcommittee, in which he expressed his wish to hold a take-note motion debate on the 2 pieces of subsidiary legislation for the smoking ban in construction sites, the scrutiny period for which will expire at the council meeting on 15th of July. Both the Secretary's proposed resolution and the take-note motion debate, as proposed by Mr. Lam Chun Sing, and the 3 pieces of subsidiary legislation concerned were all scrutinized by the same subcommittee. In accordance with past practice, in order to make good use of the council's time and avoid duplication of discussion, it is proposed that there should be a joint debate on the 3 pieces of subsidiary legislation. In accordance with the rules of procedure, the joint debate should last for no more than 4 hours. Each member may speak once for a maximum of 5 minutes. Yesterday, I also received a letter from Dr. Chen Han-pan, chairman of the subcommittee, on 4 pieces of subsidiary legislation relating to regulation of ride-hailing services, in which he expressed his wish to hold a take-note motion debate on the 4 pieces of subsidiary legislation at the council meeting on 15th of July, and hoped that the House Committee would support extending the debate duration. Under the rules of procedure, the duration of take-note motion debate is limited to a maximum of 2 hours. In view of the high level of public concern regarding this issue, it is proposed to extend the duration of this debate to 4 hours so that members have sufficient time to express their views. Each member may speak once for a maximum of 5 minutes. If the president of the LegCo agrees to the aforementioned proposal on the date of the debates, if necessary, the president of the LegCo may extend at her discretion the duration of 2 debates. Do members agree to the proposed arrangement? Thank you. As the council meeting will feature 2 debates lasting for approximately 8 hours on 2 important issues of great public concern, it is proposed that no other debates on members' motions be scheduled for this meeting. Do members agree to this arrangement? Thank you. As everyone agrees to these arrangements, I will ask the president of the LegCo to consider the various proposals we have just put forward. 5. We have a council subcommittee making a report today. We have the report by the subcommittee. I will now invite Mr. Lam Chun-sing, Chairman of the Subcommittee relating to implementation of a comprehensive smoking ban in construction sites, to make a report. Thank you, Chair. For the Construction Sites Safety Amendment Regulation 2026, the Smoking Public Health Ordinance Amendment of Schedule 2 Order 2026, and the Fixed Penalty Smoking Offences Specification of Authorities and Public Officers Amendment Noted 2026 are intended to implement a comprehensive smoking ban in construction sites. The amendment regulation proposes that contractors must take all reasonable steps to ensure that no one smokes in a construction site. If they fail to comply with the relevant requirements, they may, upon conviction, be liable to a maximum fine of 400,000 Hong Kong dollars. The primary purpose of the amendment order is to designate construction sites as statutory no smoking areas, and there is a fixed penalty of $3,000. We also have the amendment notice designating the Commissioner for Labor and Occupational Safety Officers to enforce relevant legislation. The subcommittee held 2 meetings and received a total of 6 written submissions from the public. Members supported the administration's implementation of a smoking ban in construction sites, but also raised a number of concerns and requested the administration to clarify matters relating to enforcement, as the boundaries of some construction sites may overlap with areas accessible to the public, such as buildings undergoing major repairs or pavements under scaffoldings, and given that domestic fitting out works may involve both no smoking areas and exempted areas. Members considered that contractors must clearly mark the boundaries of construction sites, and that the administration should set up publicity using more real-life examples to explain the rules to the public, so as to prevent members of the public from inadvertently breaching the law. Members were also concerned that as large construction sites cover extensive areas, workers would smoke in secret if no designated smoking areas were designated, and it would be even more dangerous. The administration stated that the legislative intent was to designate all construction sites, regardless of size, as no smoking areas, and that the policy objective was to change the culture of workplace smoking in construction sites. If smoking areas were established, this would create a gray area. As for all reasonable steps that contractors are required to take, members were concerned that this was not clearly defined in the proposed provisions. The administration is considered that they should draw up clear guidelines or codes of practice specifying in detail the reasonable steps contractors should take. The subcommittee also discussed the level of penalties and enforcement efforts. Some members considered that a fine of $3,000 was insufficient as a deterrent, whilst a fine of 400,000 Hong Kong dollars for contractors was disproportionate. Members also suggested that the administration implement smoking cessation programs to support construction workers. Neither subcommittee nor the administration will propose any amendments. The subcommittee has no objection to the administration moving the proposed resolution at the electoral meeting on 15th of July. The subcommittee will submit a written report to the House Committee in due course. That's it for my report. Thank you, Mr. Lam. Would members please note the report? I would like to remind members that the administration plans to, at the electoral meeting on 15th of July, move the proposed resolution. As for the remaining 2 pieces of subsidiary legislation subject to the negative vetting procedure considered by the subcommittee, the deadline for amendments will also expire at the electoral meeting on 15th of July. The deadline for giving notice of amendments to the proposed resolution and subsidiary legislation, if any, is also Wednesday, 8th of July. 6. Position on bills, committees, and subcommittees. LC paper number CB-2903/2026. As at 25th of June, Thursday, there is 1 bills committee, 11 subcommittees under the House Committee, and 4 policy subcommittees under panels in action. 7. Any other business? There being no other business, meeting adjourned. Thank you.